Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Today we're going to talk about the new moon in Libra astrology. I'm going to show you the chart and it's going to be really detailed. There was so many aspects. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 9 aspects that the moon is making and that these planets are having a conversation. It was like a lot. It was actually a lot it took me a long time to prepare for this video, but I'm really excited about it. And I can't wait for you guys to see what this new moon in Libra is going to be all about. Hey Zakira, welcome in. I do want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We are live. Darcy, Sparky, Diana, Rebecca, hey guys, Lily, Alexa, Jennifer, Michelle. Who else is in here? Zakira, Joan, and Valerie. Hey guys. I was like, where's all the Libras at? You guys are like, Scorpios in the house. So is anybody else? Oh, and Wendy's here too, and Britt. Is anybody else been feeling like really funky? I actually wanted to, talk about that a little bit this week. Hey Angela, just because I felt really weird yesterday, and I've been noticing everybody seems to be like a little bit on edge and like just feeling overwhelmed. And I thought it was just me because I'm moving, and so that's like really natural for me to be on the edge and be really sensitive and be like really emotional. But I'm starting to hear from people that like it's more than just me. So let's talk about that for a second. Hey JR, hey William, Heather, another Michelle. And where's all the Libras at? If you are Libra in the house, say hello. Oh, Zakara says, oh my God, major funk. So many people I know too. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about it a little bit. So yesterday we had this, well, you guys know yesterday we officially moved into Libra. The sun officially moved into Libra. Yes, very stressful. Agreed. And so it was the equinox, and it wasn't just like the sun moves into Libra. What actually went down is we changed seasons. It's a lot more than just the sun moving signs. It's actually, we have officially entered into the fall. And the fall, when you look at it, what it represents, at what it actually, like how it affects us, is the fall is, I mean, going from here's what I'm going to say. going from the summer into the fall is probably one of the most difficult transitions, because the truth is that going from the fall to the winter, you're already in that mode of like, I'm going within, this is an internal journey, the days get a little bit shorter, the nights start getting a little longer, and then going into the winter is just like kind of this gradual entering into that deeper space. And then when the spring comes, that's actually a really awesome transition, because you go from the wintry stuff to the spring and everything starts to flower and things like that. And so everybody feels good in that transition. We start to feel like, okay, we're waking up, we're coming out of this slumber, and we feel amazing. And then the summer, the transition into the summer is even more awesome, because then we're like, all right, summer's here, it's really cool and really exciting. But then this transition from the summer into the fall is like pretty difficult. I mean, this is my opinion, but this is kind of how I feel. But it's pretty difficult of a transition, because we have to go from like feeling, very outward, energized, like there's a lot you can do in the summer. We get so much done. We stay up late. We have so much energy. This is that time of the year for us, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And then once we go into the fall, it's like the train slows down. And we have to like face that, like, whew. And I think that's what we've been feeling. And fall is a beautiful season, and it's a lot of our favorite seasons. But this transition, it initially can feel like, oh God, I hate this, like we can feel that energy, and we can get really on edge, and we can feel really like sensitive and stuff. So I wanted to just talk about that a little bit, because I've been feeling that way. And plus yesterday, it wasn't just this fall, the fall equinox. It was also winter's the worst. It was also, we had the moon in Cancer, of all things, conjuncting the North Node, which, the nodes are the nodes of the moon. And so when the moon has any aspects to the nodes, it just like, it gets really intensified. So we had the North Node and the moon both in Cancer yesterday. Plus, obviously, they're opposing the South Node, which is in Capricorn, with Saturn there and Pluto there, which have been, for the last 6 months, seriously, like throwing things on the table, like here's another thing to deal with, here's another thing to deal with, like here's another thing to let go of. And then it's just been going on and on and on and on, like nonstop. And so it gets tiring, like we're tired of it, like we're really tired of it. And I think yesterday, what happened, and these last couple of days, we've been feeling that intensity, emotional, like heaviness of that Saturn, Pluto, and North Node and South Node, like energy that's been happening for the last like 6 months, right? And so just know that it's normal if you're feeling really funky. I think that this new moon is gonna bring up some beautiful energies, also some not so easy energies. But I think for the most part, because Venus is gonna be Venus will be in Libra, in its home sign of Libra, during this new moon, and then the new moon is Libra energy. So the Libra energy brings in like more like sort of more balanced energy, more wanting to, more social, a little less intense. It's less intense than all the other signs, it's more like, especially because it has that need to for everybody to feel good. It wants everybody to feel good. So I think things will lighten up, but just know that right now, today, when I'm talking about this, you might not feel this way, because we're moving into the energy, and the moon will be officially new on Saturday. Yes. So we are in the first week of fall, yes, and so this is massive transitioning. I don't even know how I'm handling a move to another state and having to go live and prepare for these videos and do all my monthly videos. I'm just trying to show you, like, you're not the only one that's like going through this like intense transition. So we're gonna go over this chart, and while I'm going over it, I probably won't be looking at the chat too much, So if moderators are in the house, make sure that you are on the lookout for any like questions and things like that. Also, we have this awesome 6-week program that Jason and I from Ray of Light Tarot are doing that starts October 13th. I've been announcing it, so a lot of you guys like are memorizing my little spiel by now. But this program is to help you step into becoming a master manifester, and to really understand what it takes, what this foundational understanding is about manifesting. We like to throw that word around a lot, especially the law of attraction, and like, oh, I'm going to manifest this, and I'm going to do all this stuff, and but we forget that what it really takes to do this, and what it really takes to be a master manifester is you got to hold yourself accountable for how you feel, for your actions. You got to hold yourself accountable for what, how you behave in the world, and also for, just be responsible in your own way, and understand like there are certain things that, you attract when you're in certain negative energies, and certain things that you learn how to, keep away, or other things that you attract when you're in a better space. So that's a huge part of it. We like the idea of manifesting, and we think it's like, yeah, awesome, let's do it. But until we get to the point where we realize like a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with in life is because we're like allowing it to be there. So it's an amazing 6-week program. We're going to cover a lot of information. There's a link in the description of this video that gives you all of the information. I know there's a few of you guys already signed up, and I'm so freaking excited to be able to have, here's the thing that's making me really excited more than anything else about the program, is the fact that I get to like see you guys' faces, because I just look at like words on a screen usually, but I'm gonna get to like, we're gonna get to know each other like on a more personal level. And I think that is so beautiful, and that is so amazing, and that's so Libra, right? That's so Libra what I'm saying right now. But we're gonna get to like socialize and like learn from each other, and share, personal stories, and be in that intimate, beautiful space that you can't have unless you have that connection. Unless you have that connection. So that I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about you getting that personal attention that you need, and really being able to ask the questions that you've been dying to ask for a long time. So that's really awesome. The other thing that's happening is there's until September 30th, I have an Etsy shop, so I make jewelry. This is one of the things that I've made. This is called the Moon Goddess necklace. It's like a chain, wire wrapped, and I do wire wrapping and everything, and I take custom orders too. But right now, everything on my Etsy shop called Eagle Star Jewels is on sale at 50% off. So you can look on there and see what I got. And I will mail that to you as soon as you order, because those are already made and ready to go. And I think that might be the last announcement I have. If I'm forgetting something, hopefully I'll remember between now and the end of the broadcast. So I know, I wish you guys could too. If you feel called, like, just go for it. Don't wait, because the space is limited and the class is going to get filled up. Hey, Rosa. Hey, Isabel. Hey, guys. All right. So let's get ready for this chart display. And you guys should still be able to hear me. And here is the new moon in Libra. Everything that's happening right now, right, Alexa, exactly. Self-care is really, really important. I'm grateful for you guys too. Everything that is happening right now it's like, oh, hey, babe. Don's my husband, you guys. Donald Stout. So can I explain what a mala is? Sure. A mala is a sacred jewelry. A lot of people use them to meditate. You can chant mantras with it. And it's also, this sacred jewelry that I make is made with like natural stones. And so the stones help to clear your energies, and they help to connect you to higher frequencies. So they're really good tools for meditating and also chanting. Okay. I might have to reconnect this iPad, so let's do this again. But I do hope you guys are doing good. Oh, what I was saying is that we've been over and over, we keep being asked to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. And I think a lot of us are starting to get a little fed up with it. A little fed up with it. It's just a lot. So here is the chart for the new moon in Libra that's happening on Saturday. So here we go. Now I'm just going to focus and give you guys the story that unfolds with this new moon. Let me show you where the moon and the sun are. So the way that you can tell if a moon is new or full is by the conjunction between the sun and the moon. So they're exactly at 5 degrees of Libra. And when the moon is in Libra, our emotional well-being is directly linked to having those close, loving, affectionate relationships. This means that if the people that we surround ourselves with are not in a loving vibration, we're going to feel like alone in our desire for that social connection. Because Libra wants things to be fun and also comfortable. Libra wants everyone to be happy and is disturbed and unable to enjoy things when things are not happy and comfortable, when everybody's happy. So this Libra energy helps us to see like the other in the situation. It helps us dissolve our ego and try to understand others' behaviors. But Libra doesn't always resolve things, and this is the downfall of Libra, although I wouldn't really call it a downfall, but Libra has this thing where it can't make up its mind. But in essence, there's a lot of ego that's dissolving with this new moon, and that's not always a fun thing, especially with the sun in Libra. The sun in Libra is actually in its fall position because it represents the ego. Literally, the ego falls when the sun is in Libra. When the sun is in Leo, which is, it rules Leo, it's able to truly be itself and show off and feel important and feel accomplished in being itself. But in Libra, it has to swallow its pride and think more about than just itself. So you have to ask yourself, where are you at in this spectrum? Are you someone who loves people and being social and having a good time when it comes to relationships? Or are you someone who would much rather be in charge of situations on top of it, like being the center of attention? Neither of those energies is wrong. It's just important to check in because you'll then know how to access the power of this moon. Our intuition during this moon gives us the ability to read into people really well, because Libra energy can is very intuitive about reading other people when it comes to relationships. This is happening at 12. The peak of the new moon is at around 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, I think, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So what we're going to want to do is try to avoid conflicts and confrontations and go out of our way to ensure harmony, which is actually a good thing. That's a good thing. We're also going to feel this very strong need for approval and recognition, however, and we can definitely be indecisive about our feelings. So seeing and weighing both sides with an intellectual approach is how we're going to feel with this new moon. Libra is also an air sign, which means that it's intellectual in nature. It's the mind. And it loves to discuss things, talk about things. That's where the social nature of Libra comes in. So if you're usually a quiet person, you might find yourself wanting to speak your mind. In a general sense, this is the energy, but there are a lot of other conversations that are going on with the other planets. So I'm going to go over the most powerful ones first, and then go over what else is going on with this moon. So this is just like, okay, that's the Libra new moon. It can be that, but with all this other stuff going on, it's going to add it's going to paint a pretty beautiful picture here. What's happening with this moon is that the sun and the moon are actually quincunxing Uranus. This is happening at exactly 5 degrees. So this is actually an exact quincunx. And Uranus has been asking everyone to build a new future as we move into the age of Aquarius. So this is about taking our relationships to a new level. It's about finding new relationships too. The things that are changing within us in our internal world are going to cause us to now want to change our relationships and friendships like on the outside. Because if it doesn't match, if the energy doesn't match between us and the people that we're in relationship with, that's a problem. And we're going to feel disconnected. Uranus in Taurus is asking us to build a new world. And like I said, I've been talking about this for a while. Plus Uranus is going to be in Taurus for like 7 more years. And also with the Sun, quincunx Uranus, this highlights our uniqueness. How different we are and how different we're becoming. The universe is asking us to change, and some of us have answered that call and began our journey towards a new self. But so many of us are still in the dark, thinking people don't change, that the world is doomed. Like, it's a pessimistic attitude to be in that space. It doesn't feel good. That's not going to serve you right now. Those of us not stepping through the portal and into a new world are going to literally be stuck in the old world and not grow and not evolve. But those of us who are taking those leaps of faith, we are going to integrate those 9 dimensions into this physical time-space reality. And we're going to activate those powers to create magic, to become master manifestors by way of finding healing, joy, and also peace in our lives. So when the moon, so let's talk about the other opposition, or the opposition that's happening here. We'll go just one at a time, painting this picture. The opposition to Chiron, you guys. Chiron is the wounded healer and shows us in life how to embody the healer. It literally tells you what kind of healer or sage or wise teacher you were born to be. And the placement in our natal chart can reveal this. And if anybody's interested in finding out your life purpose by looking at your natal chart, which I call the natal chart the blueprint of your multidimensional self. If you want to find out more, starting in October, you can actually sign up for an in-depth natal chart reading from me. So that's like really, that's the other thing that I forgot to mention, is that natal chart readings are going to be available starting October. And that's so exciting to know that I'm going to be able to help people by looking at this like multi-dimensional blueprint of who they are. So coming back to Chiron, Aries Chiron is collectively teaching us how to heal our wounded masculine, our ego. It's teaching us how to become humble. So this opposition is clearly reminding us of our journey towards healing ourselves and our journey towards stepping into the healer ourselves. Those of us who were born with this like sun oppose Chiron have this journey that feels like a life and death struggle to bring the self into full expression. And it's not until you truly find out who you are that you begin to express this through art, through your creations, through your manifestations. So for us as a collective, this transit is calling us to find ourselves in the humbling of our ego. And then remember that we are truly here to serve. We truly are here to serve. When the moon opposes Chiron, its alchemical powers activate and we literally open up to all dimensions. And for those of us that have no idea how to handle energies coming at us, this is going to feel really gnarly. It's going to feel like you're exposed and unprotected from the outside world. Your aura has to be clear during this transit. And the way that you clear it is you meditate. You can literally sit and meditate and like feel it, clear it. You can like sweep your aura. There's lots of ways that you can clear your aura, but that's going to be really important that we do that. We'll probably do that in our ceremony this Saturday. Remind me when I go live on Saturday to do the aura clearing meditation with you guys, okay? We'll do it together, but you guys got to remind me. So basically what we're going to feel though is that we're going to be really connected. Like the veil will be thin and we will be open to receive, to channel. This is the day where you're going to want to ask yourself, what is the universe saying to you? There's another planet that's also opposing Chiron, and it's Mars. Let me erase a little bit here. We'll erase this. So Mars right here is also opposing Chiron. Mars is the warrior. He's the doer. He's the planet that represents our drive. Right now, he's in Virgo. So it's teaching us how to become warriors of this earthly realm and manifest our desires into the physical time-space realities. And this opposition to Chiron is actually the activation of the full potential of the sacred warrior. So it's not just a warrior, it now becomes the sacred warrior, someone who has faced their fears or is ready to face their fears and cultivate the courage to fulfill their sacred mission. So when I tell you that the universe is lining things up for us, I mean, it's like literally lining things up for us. And if we're not like going with that energy, we're literally resisting the growth. Why would you want to resist the growth? Mars also trines Pluto, you guys. Mars trines Pluto adds to this energy because when Mars trines Pluto, your policy is literally never ever give up. And when this attitude is matched with your incredible power and your drive to manifest in the world, you have all the determination needed to achieve whatever goals you set for yourself. Now that's epic. I think that's epic. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's epic. And remember that October is the month of passionate determination. I did the October astrological forecast video, so if you didn't watch that yet, make sure you watch that. It'll give you the whole overview of the whole month. This moon is literally preparing us for the journey that we're taking in October. Okay, so I want to talk about something really awesome now. This is epic, okay? This is the one thing that makes this day so freaking beautiful. And it's Venus at 17 degrees, sextiling Jupiter at 17 degrees. That's not just Venus and Jupiter. That's Venus in its home sign of Libra, sextiling Jupiter in its home sign of Sagittarius. And sextiles, just like trines, are very beautiful energies. They're positive changes, they're harmonious transits. So what's so cool about this sextile is that it's involved these two planets, which are, we call them the two benefics. The two planets that always feel good when they come into the picture, into the equation, right? Like we're like Venus, yay! Like Jupiter, yay! Expansion, everybody feels good. Everybody wants to like do it. Everybody wants to be the explorer. Dora the Explorer, Dora. Venus is the planet of love, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and they're both in their home signs. This is like, boom, the explosion of love. And this is one of the reasons why I call this the portal of love, because I think that this sextile between Venus and Jupiter is probably the one that brings in like the most power on this day. This opens the door. It's also like good luck coming at us, good fortune coming at us, lucky breaks. So there's two ways that you're either going to feel about this energy. You're either going to feel like being really productive, or you're either going to feel like being really lazy. But neither of those are bad because look at this. You're either choosing to feel like, yes, let's do this energy, or you're going to feel like, man, I feel really good, so I'm just going to chill and like let it soak in. And you like neither of those is wrong, you guys. So just enjoy this transit because it is amazing. Like, I cannot wait for this day because we are going to feel that Jupiter-Venus sextile. And we're going to be like, oh, love. Bring more love to the world, for God's sakes. We've been just like churning, you know? We've been like climbing up that mountain and we get like a little break. We get a little break here. I love it. I really love this. It's like on this day, this transit is like the universe has your back. We've got you. Do your work. We promise you're going to be rewarded with unconditional love from the divine and many gifts. Amazing. Okay. Neptune in Pisces, here it is going to be trining the North Node and sextiling the South Node. So it's a transit. If you're lazy, you get motivated and vice versa. Yeah, that's true. That could happen too. So the reason this is cool, actually, I really like this aspect of it. I really do. Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces, right? And it's getting close to going direct in November. And we know that Neptune is the planet of dreams, of the higher realms. He's also the ruler of the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of bliss and the subconscious mind. And when we reach that 12th house on our journey through the chart, we reach this completion period where if we've done the work, we feel fulfilled. And this is very interesting transit because it's conversation between the North and the South Node. It's not always you get a trine and a sextile to the North and South Node. And remember I said that both of these alignments are harmonious, or they bring out these positive aspects. So when Neptune trines the North Node, you are answering to a higher authority. You want to seek for and strive to understand and follow a spiritual path. It's the realization that our life path is nothing less than total alignment. Boom. Nothing less than total alignment. Dude, I like that. It is the desire to bring the divine, so right, like this crown chakra stuff into the mundane world, the spiritual into the right here and the right now, the healing power of God into your life. And when Neptune sextiles the South Node of karma and past lives and lessons we need to learn in this lifetime, it opens up a door to understand why. Neptune, being the planet of the mysteries of the universe, opens you up and in a sense gives you access to knowledge from the Akashic records. And when it's in communication with the South Node, it will help reveal through dreams, so pay attention to your dreams, information as to past lives, karmic relationships, healing, the healing way, and how to complete the cycles because Neptune rules the 12th house of completion. Yes, anchor the light, exactly. You know what this reminds me of? Well, Neptune is like the access point between the nodes in this transit. It's like, it's teaching us how to access. It's like opening this door. Right? You've got North Node, the future, destiny, South Node, the past, karma, and Neptune is like, oh, I'm going to open this doorway. And it is the access point between the nodes in this transit. It's the portal to finally see what is going on the other side of the veil. Both being able to see how your past lives have played out to this point and where it is that you're going into the future. It opens up a portal to the fourth dimension, giving us access to the Akashic records by way of our dreams. And it reminds me of the story from the book. Have you guys read the book Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani? Because if you haven't, so she goes through this near-death experience. And then obviously comes back to tell about it because she wrote a book. Well, the reason this reminds me of that is because Neptune opens the door to access the answers and information you need to move forward on your journey. And here's what her experience was. I'll tell you the story because it's actually really cool. So she explains it like being able to, like when she died, it was almost like she imagined, or she related it to us walking around the world or inside this like giant warehouse with a little flashlight. And with this flashlight, that's our consciousness in the physical reality. With the flashlight, we can see, like we're not blind, but we can see only to a certain extent, only what the light shines, right? And when she died, it's almost like the warehouse lights fully turned on. And she was able to see everything that was the floor, everything on the walls, everything like the factory or was filled with stuff up to the roof, and you see like all of it at the same time. You get the entire picture. And then when she came back into her body, it was like somebody turned the light off again, and she was standing there with her little flashlight again. And that's what this reminds me of. How Neptune opens the door to access the answers, to be able to see it all, to see the information you need to move forward on your journey. But it's like it's a point that opens up and then closes again when the transit ends, right? These transits don't last forever. They activate certain energies and we flow with them, and then they close. So it's a moment. That's why I call it the portal of love. It's a moment. The door opens, you either choose to step through or you close the door. And it's important for us to recognize that we get to choose every time. We're the ones choosing. Let's talk about relationships. This is the part of the chart where I'm going to focus on relationships, because all of this Libra energy that we have going on, and we have Venus in Libra, is about how we relate to other people. Look at all this Libra energy, you guys. Right here. We got Mercury, Venus, the Moon, and the Sun in Libra. And then Mars is going to move into Libra in October. Exactly, opportunities. So here's what I'm going to show you. To begin to talk about how this new moon is affecting our relationships, I'm going to show you this T-square that's going on right here. There is a T-square in cardinal energy between the North Node and this South Node, Saturn, Pluto, and here we go, Venus. So a T-square is an opposition and then two exact squares that point to a central point, which in this case is Venus. This is like kind of why they call it a T-square, because of this angle right here that's made in the middle. So this T-squared is in cardinal energy because it's Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. And all of these three signs are cardinal signs, which indicates impulsiveness, impatience, but also drive. Cardinal energies are the starters of things. They're the initiators. They like change and anything new, but they can also be impatient and impulsive and fail to complete what they started. Right? This is the energy of the T-square. So let's take a look at the planets that are in the conversation. We know we've had this Saturn and Pluto and South Node conjunction for about 6 months, right? I mean, I've been talking about it. And this is making us look at our karmic patterns, our negative habits, all of the things that need to be cleansed out of us. It's like a major karmic cleansing. It's the karmic cleanse. Literally, that's what it feels like, honestly. It's been gnarly. It's funny, but it's not funny. You know what I mean? It's funny, but it's not funny. But it has been helping us to get ready for what's coming. And on this day, this energy, as well as the North Node and Venus, these get squared. Or with the North Node, this energy squares Venus. They both square Venus, both nodes. And Venus is the planet of relationships. So guess what? This means this is a big deal for relationships. But we can predict that because it's Libra, right? It's Libra energy. And Libras are like the most, what do you call it? Obsessed? Not obsessed, but Libras love their love readings. You know what I mean? Who's a Libra in here that's watching? So the first thing I want to talk about in this alignment is Saturn. I love this little thing. I really do. Saturn and Venus squaring, okay? We'll take it one little bit at a time. Venus square Saturn is inviting us to step into maturity when it comes to relationships. We have until this point been releasing relationships that no longer serve us. Relationships that go against our true path. Relationships that stop us from moving forward, or at least we're being asked to do it. It is always our choice and always up to us whether we listen to the wisdom and answer the call or not. But in essence, this is a time where maturity is what is needed in our relationships. Done are the days of going against yourself to please others, and of being in relationships that require you to be involved in negative, codependent patterns. You're going to see in October, the truth comes out when it comes to relationships. So now we're preparing for that. All right, what happens when Venus squares Pluto? In the negative expression of this transit, Venus square Pluto can create relationships that are prone to power struggles, because both people or one or the other tries to control finances as well as control the other person. It's not a harmonious energy, but if you're both able to rise to the higher expression of this alignment, which Saturn is asking us to do by stepping and becoming mature about it, you will see that you are actually able to build cooperation and the potential for financial security and deep loving ties in your relationships. In general, with this T-square, we are releasing ties to old karmic relationships to make space for new ones that are truly going to nurture us. So as we heal from these old karmic relationships, which is, the South Node, Pluto, and Saturn, we prepare ourselves to begin new relationships that are based on true love, Cancer, the South Node, emotional well-being, and emotional maturity. Check this out too. Mars kind of comes in, or not Mars, Mercury kind of comes in and adds to this equation. It actually squares Pluto. So it's kind of part of this T-square by way of squaring Pluto. And with Mercury square Pluto, we're going to want to know the truth, and we're not going to move forward until we are sure and we know what is going on. We can also become wary and suspicious. So be on the lookout for that, because here's the thing. Here's what I feel about Scorpio. Like, I love Scorpios. You guys go deep. You guys are able to really go deep. But there's something about the Scorpio energy that it likes to take but not give. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So we can become wary and suspicious because when we want information from others but are not willing to be vulnerable and share about ourselves at the same time, this can be detrimental to our relationships and we can seem closed off. But once we make up our minds about something, we're not going to budge. And that's very Scorpio energy, which Pluto rules. So be prepared for what arises, and remember that the most mature way of dealing with issues is the way that it is going to give you the best results. Sorry, Scorpios. I don't mean that in a mean way, you guys. Every single sign in the zodiac has their highest expression and their like not so high expressions. And everyone in the zodiac, just like any personality type, can rise to that higher frequency and integrate like the polarities or the dualities into one thing. Where yes, as we know, with the Scorpio energy, you actually want to receive information and you want to know and you want to go really deep. And at the same time, you understand that you have to also share as well. You have to be willing to share a part of yourself too. You know what I mean? I know you guys know what I mean. Valerie says my husband is a Scorpio and upset. I want Pluto rules to be a chant or a cheer. Pluto rules. Oh my God. It is hard being a Scorpio sometimes. I'm sure it is. That's intense. That's a lot of intense energy. It's like you have a lot to deal with, you know? And I think you guys are so sensitive that it tends to be, you tend to close off. You're like, no, too much. I can't do this. I can't share. I can't even go there. I don't even want to go there. You know what I mean? Like I've heard, you know, relationships or people that have been in relationships or situations with a Scorpio where they're like, it took them a really long time to open up. Like it takes Scorpio a long time to open up because I think they're so sensitive. They're like afraid to like be that vulnerable. But I think when Scorpio integrates, it learns to be vulnerable and it learns to be comfortable in that space. So that's how Mercury adds to this T-square. You have a Venus retrograde in Scorpio. And there's one more thing to talk about. And this is the last conversation between Venus and Neptune. There's a quincunx right here. A quincunx acts like both a trine and an opposition. These are the symbols for trine and opposition. Okay? It acts the same as a trine and an opposition. When Venus trines Neptune, it brings up this irresistible energy that is both alluring and charming and makes you a magnet for romance. So check that out, right? For those of you guys that are like, oh, where's the romance in this? Well, there it is, right there. However, well, this is the transit that makes Venus in Libra really happy because it means we look for the happiness in our relationships, that romantic energy. We can become very inspiring to other people and connect in a deep spiritual way to those around us. However, there's a dilemma here. Because when Venus opposes Neptune, you could also ignore other people's faults until the fog clears. It's like you don't really see what's going on. You like ignore it or something, or there's like a fog and you choose not to see other people's faults. So if you don't know what's going on in a relationship, especially a romantic one, please wait till the fog clears. Yeah, this is all going on. This is all just one chart, you guys. Don't just jump right into the abyss. Because the abyss is endless. Go Venus. And remember that Pluto, the Venus Pluto, right? I mean Jupiter. Remember the Venus Jupiter sextile. It was bringing a lot of good luck into our lives and a burst of romantic love. So I think in general, the quincunx to Neptune is actually bringing positive vibes. I don't think that, like, if we're vibing in a higher space, I think we're going to activate those like higher vibrational frequencies of these transits, that romantic energy that comes in, and that good luck, right? And also remember that you are the one that gets to choose. So let's answer that. Let's answer a couple of questions in the chat, you guys. And I'm going to switch back to just me here. Okay. Rewind. You need a mobile hotline? That's hilarious. Mel says, how do you deal with that all in one day? That's a really, really good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to address that because it's a good one. So I think I was talking to Dawn earlier today, and I was talking about like astrology in general and how astrology is like channeling. Astrology is like, you know, you're a tarot reader, but instead of having cards, you have a chart, an astrological chart in front of you. And depending on whether you're a Western astrologer or Eastern astrologer or Vedic astrologer or, you know, whatever astrologer you are, whatever you focus on, you have this chart in front of you and you are the reader. And so the cool thing about it is that you are the channeler. You are the one that gets to interpret these transits. And there's always a positive energy about transits, and there's always a negative energy. Just like there's always a positive expression of a personality and the not so positive expression of the personality. And when someone's looking at the chart and what, you know, what they bring into it and what they channel, that's their interpretation. That's how that's their gift that they're bringing to the table. So you might not align. Plus, here's the other thing. Everyone is their individual self, and everyone has their own natal chart, their multidimensional hologram, their natal chart. And these transits affect all of us in an individual way, depending on our natal chart and what placements we have. Some of these things might be actually aligning with something that you were born with. Some of these things might be somewhere completely different and sort of feel foreign to you. Some of these things are going to feel a lot more, you know, close to home, and others you're not going to feel as much. And that depends on you. That depends on who you are. That depends on your own natal astrology. That depends on you as an individual person. So some of us are going to feel a lot of this stuff happening on this day. We're going to feel all of it. And how you would deal with it is if you feel overwhelmed, you take care of yourself. You meditate. You know, use your intuition wisely. Like the truth is that, okay, I love astrology and astrology is amazing and I'm like super passionate about it. And at this point, I'm so immersed in it that I feel this really big gratitude for it in my life. But the truth is that you don't need astrology. What you do need is a brain. I'm just kidding. What you do need is your intuition and clarity. Because with clarity and intuition, you can get through any energies that come your way. And you also need awareness. So when you are aware of your energy and you are aware that you are receiving something, there's a download, there's something that's affecting you, whether you know, Pluto's going direct or not, doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. But if you have the awareness of your energy and how you feel and the fact that something feels like it's coming at you, you know how to handle it. But if you don't have that awareness of there's something that doesn't feel right and you just react and you take it out on the people around you, that's a problem. That's why it's not about the astrology as much as it is about you and where you're at and how much you know of yourself and how self-aware you are, how you're going to deal with all of this in one day. So that's why that's such a good question, because it brings up that, okay, like there's too much, right? There's too much going on. And so on this day, whatever transit is going to be speaking to you specifically, at least you have a picture of the energy. And you'll be able to know, if you feel, intensity because of Saturn, Pluto, South Node, which we've been feeling for a long time. So for a lot of us, that's like a constant nagging. It's like a constant nagging at us, and we don't really feel good. So if you feel that energy, like, what can you do? Like, if you feel, down, what can you do to help lift you back up? Some of us need to be in that, down energy for a minute. Let us feel it and process it, and then we can come out of it. Some of us, that doesn't help. When we dive into it, it makes it worse. But I'm willing to bet, because this is there's such cool transits, for like that Venus-Jupiter sextile and the Venus, quincunx Neptune, the positive aspect of it. Those two transits themselves, and the fact that there's Libra, it's a Libra new moon, and new moons are like setting intentions. I'm willing to bet that more than likely what you are going to feel on this day is like a good energy coming at you. And the stuff that doesn't feel that good, you're gonna be able to like override it with the positivity that Jupiter and Venus are gonna bring into the equation. Staying in my blanket fort today. Jai, you give Astro the facts and spirit. Graceful, awesome. Now vibrationally aware. So many downloads. A lot of downloads. It is very important to keep grounded. Or we can prepare and choose which energy to focus on. Yes. And pick responsibly. Pick positivity, but also pick responsibly. We know when we're not acting right. We know when we're just not feeling 100%. Usually, like in my own personal experience, you're welcome, Mel. In my own personal experience, when I don't feel good, I tend to like retreat and like retreat from the world, retreat from like communication with people. I mean, I'll probably just talk to my husband, because that's like safe. I know that's a safe space to communicate. I don't ever have to feel weird about feeling weird. Like, hey, Cynthia, we have a relationship where it's okay if we feel weird. And I pray that you all have that relationship as well. It's okay to not be 100% all the time. And so I do have this like understanding that that's the case. But there are moments when things just get, like, there's too much going on. And so we tend to react, and we tend to overreact sometimes, and we take it out on the people around us. And that's why it's so important, this relationship issue, if the people around us are also not vibing high, that's going to affect you. We are energies too, and we like throw energies at each other, and sometimes unconsciously. We don't know we're doing it. And we can hurt each other like that. You know what I mean? We can also help each other. But we tend to focus, especially when the people around us are not vibing high. For example, like, so you're either at this point in time in the world, you're either like really awakened, or you're awakening and stepping into purpose, or you're like in the dark. Like you're in that warehouse and you don't even have a flashlight. That's the only way that I can like describe how this feels right now, to have this like Saturn, Pluto, South Node like energy for like 6 months. The good thing is that, and the reason why I feel like this new moon is helping us to get ready for what's coming, and all the moons have been helping us get ready for what's coming. Like, they're all helping us get ready for what's coming. This is also like, I think this is halfway through the astrological year. So Aries is the first sign, Libra is right in the middle, and then Pisces is the last one. And very, very interesting, something that just clicked. Cynthia. We just had the full moon in Pisces, And that was like an intense awakening, spiritual awakening. Pisces is, you know, the beyond the veil. It was an intense spiritual awakening, to a call to integrate the 4 dimensions, to bring that spirituality into your body. And then the next full moon is a full moon in Aries, which is an initiation. It is a new lunar cycle and the beginning of a new beginning. There's no other word to describe that. I just like said that word a million times. But this full moon in Aries is an initiation and a new beginning into a new journey. So we had the Pisces completion and we have the Aries beginning. And sandwiched right in between the middle, we have this new moon in Libra, which is literally the middle of the zodiac, the center. And so, you know, when the way that storms work, right? Like tornadoes and swirling storms and hurricanes, they have an eye of the storm, right? And so you can feel the energy like just swirling all around you, but somehow you're like in the middle and you have the clarity. You have the clarity to like at least see, right? That's what Neptune is. Like Neptune on this day is like that eye of the storm, because it like opens the door between the south node and the north node and says, hey, you want to see what's inside this room that's been locked to your whole life? You want me to turn on the warehouse lights for a few moments so you can see where the hell you are and where you're going and where you've been and how freaking grateful you should be for where you are right now. The fact that you're even watching this video and like stepping into more awareness and you're seeking it, you are seekers. You're seekers of the light. Okay? The fact that you're, you know, it's like, let me show you, let me put you in the eye of the storm. And even though the storm comes back and the energy's like, you know, this moment is like, whew, time stops and you can see it and then starts going again. And through that awareness of that, you get to be grounded. You get to anchor the light. And it doesn't matter how things go up and down in your life, you are anchored. That was crazy. What just came through was crazy in a good way. I use the word crazy a lot, but that was like, whoa, I was getting a lot of visuals right there. But in general, this is going to be a beautiful day, you guys. This is going to be a beautiful day. Use the energy wisely, right? Connect with that Jupiter-Venus energy. Let yourself be in that centered space. Anchor the light. And know that relationships will start moving forward. And yes, we'll have to release and let go of certain relationships that don't serve us, but we also have this beautiful thing to look forward to, which is a better life. Because when we have better relationships, we feel better about ourselves. We feel better about ourselves. So that's the new moon, you guys. On Friday, definitely watch the October astrological forecast, because that it's important, because that gives you the overview for the month. Watch that before you watch your individual sun sign, rising sign, moon, and Venus on Friday when those videos come out. Because I go over the same transits that I went over in the October thing. So if you have already watched that, you'll understand more easily what I'm talking about in those individual sun signs. But there we go. October is coming, like boom. And then on Saturday, I will be live. Oh my God, you guys, that's going to be my last live at this apartment. Talk about freaking transitions to the max. Talk about Pluto going direct while I'm driving to freaking another state. I mean, Pluto's going direct October 3rd. And it's going to like change your outside world. You know that whirlwind I was talking about? You're like in the middle, but everything around you is like, wah. So I will go live. We will go live and we'll do it at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And remind me to do the meditation. Let me see if I have pencil. Aura clearing meditation. We'll do that together on Saturday. All right. Boom. Are you guys feeling good? Are you feeling good? What was the question? Oh, here we go. Is it normal to feel like the only flashlight working in the warehouse, so everyone is drawn to you? No. So here, the flashlight, we all have a flashlight that shines to a certain amount, right? I'm not like a light bulb watts, right? So lights have watts, right? So those of us that are light workers, our light has higher wattage. So the reason you feel like other people's lights are off and yours is the only one that is on is because yours is just brighter. Yours is brighter, so you're more awakened. You see a little bit more than everybody else. Like maybe you have two flashlights or whatever, one pointing this way and one that way. And the more you awaken, the more flashlights you get. And then you hook them up to your, I'm just kidding. But that's why it feels that way. Yeah. Charged. You are an illuminator, an illuminary yourself. You anchor the light yourself. And so you are brighter, brighter, brighter. And so yes, people will be drawn to you. People will be drawn to you. Yeah. That's why spiritual teachers they get a lot, like big followings. And then some people, here's the cool thing about that. Some people, gone solar, some people will always be followers. However, here's the best part about being a light worker and starting as a follower and then realizing that you're actually a leader. Because usually the way we get started on these spiritual journeys is we start as a follower. We're like, I want to know more. Like I'm really drawn to this. I want to know more about this. And so we look at it and we study it, and we might study with this teacher or another teacher, or just go dive deeper into it. And what we find out is that we've got the same thing the teacher has, but it's not an ego thing. We realize that that teacher, that spiritual teacher, got to where they were because they opened up and they let themselves be vulnerable, and they learned, and they studied, and they let the universe bring them the answers. And all they're doing is just sharing what they've received. And it seems like they're higher and you're lower, but the truth is that they're not. You're just as fully capable of reaching that state of awareness, clarity, spirituality as any teacher or any spiritual guru or whatever in the world. Some gurus are not the type that are that have tons of followers. Some gurus are literally just humble people living out their lives, and with their energy they are major anchors of the light, and they are examples for a lot of people, because some people were not even meant to even have sort of a spiritually awakened life, but their job was literally just to be a child born to a mother with cerebral palsy, or a child that's lives in a wheelchair their whole lives, or is born with things that are so different from the norm, and they're really ascended masters in that body, just showing up to teach. So not everybody is on at this sort of version of spirituality or awakening or all of that. But when it comes to this dynamic of there's a teacher and then there's the students, when you are a teacher and you teach your students, when you understand that true teaching, that true success as a spiritual teacher is you you teach so that your students can become 10 times greater than you, that's a real teacher. That's a real teacher. Because that's what the world needs. Because if you are like a revolutionary and you rose to whatever power you have that power because you opened yourself up and you were vulnerable, and you have that power, and you don't take it like in an ego way where you're like, I'm better. You realize, yeah, why guru? You realize that somebody else might just get like even deeper download than you did, and they might like show you what's up. You know, like what's that girl's name? Greta. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, kids that are showing us what's up. like you know, there's like a humbling aspect that if you don't have that as a teacher, I think there's still more growth. And I'm not saying that teachers stop growing, because the most important thing about being a teacher is you realize that you're not really a teacher, that you're just a student, and you're just like at this point of the journey, and then some people are at this point, and some people are at this point, and some people are like in front of you, but the journey is the same. The awakening journey is the same. And you realize that being a true teacher is being able to be humbly in that space of the student, always open for more knowledge and more downloads, and always like bow down to your divinity, you guys. Bow down to your divinity. Have you ever bowed? I don't know why I'm like, there's a practice in Kundalini yoga where you just bow and bow, right? And bow. And it teaches you like, put your head, let your heart rise. Let your heart be higher than your head. Take that journey from your head to your heart. And then take that journey back to the mind, to the consciousness, to the awareness. We have been learning to travel. You know, the most difficult journey is from the head, to get from the head to the heart. That's the initial, like, Aries, like, running into Taurus. And Taurus being like, we're going to slow down now. And Aries is like, no, you know? That's what that feels like. And then we die, and we have to like transmute that energy into like more maturity. Right? And now the next journey that we're taking is to come back to the mind and use the mind like in a more active way to take you to a new reality, a new world, a new earth that Dolores Cannon talks about. So massive downloads just happen here. Will you do me a favor? If you are on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media, or you want to text it, you want to share it, please share this video out. Just do that, because people need to hear this stuff. Yes, maturity and joyful laughter. Exactly. Ooh, I love that, Rosa. That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. Thank you guys so much for watching and allowing me to step into the shoes that I was meant to walk in. because you guys are like, you're helping me to learn how to step up, how to show up every single day, no matter what's going on in life, how to show up. Because the most important thing that we need to realize is that we are here to serve. I love you guys, and I can't wait for our full moon ceremony or new moon ceremony in Libra on Saturday. You're welcome. I can't wait for it. So put it on your calendars, and let's have fun with this energy. What I do with, you know, the ceremonies is I'm definitely going to play some music for us, my original songs. So we'll do the drumming, the chanting, the tarot reading, the connecting with the energy, and then we'll play some songs and have some fun. It'll be it's so beautiful. Like, let's come together like that, energetically. High vibe. Thank you, guys. I'm really grateful for you guys too. I'll see you on Friday in my videos when they come out, and I'll see you on Saturday for the new moon ceremony. Jason and I might be going live right before the new moon ceremony to talk about moon magic and to give you guys another sneak peek into the course, the Finding the Magic Playground. Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Sat Nam.